time to ride. Let's get out of here. Just called my wife and let her know that I was gonna be on my way home. You know what started this YouTube channel was something I was just talking to my wife about. I was getting some tapes ready to send them off to the family who was in the videos. These really old videos from about 15 years ago, 16 years ago, that were filmed on an old camcorder, and they were on some VHS tapes. They're actually VHS-C tapes because they're little tiny ones. And I had to put them into an adapter that is like the size of a full-size VHS, and I recorded them onto a computer. And I posted a lot of those online for the family to see. And there's a couple of them that are like really special to some of my family, and I'm sending it to them in the mail. And that's kind of what got me. I was messing around with video editors, recording software, DVD burning software, and that's what I was just like, you know what, this is kind of fun. I like doing this and talking about things that, you know, that you really like doing. I enjoyed doing that, and I could probably make money recording videos for people, like converting their old VHS tapes. But man, it would take so long, you know, and so many personal memories. I don't really want to get into that, but the video editing stuff is kind of cool, you know. I want to learn how to do some more of that, how to actually like make productions, and like I saw that you can make thumbnails for the videos that you upload onto YouTube here, but I'm just uploading them directly to my phone. I record them, do zero editing to them, and then just upload them directly. So that's the production, that's the level of production quality I'm working with this so far. But, you know, I haven't even been going at this for a week yet. So it's no big deal, right? This is just the early days. The early days of the Midnight Commuter content. And if you look out the window, you're gonna see a blue truck go by. And that's the guy who was helping me out on my route today. There he is. That probably had the company name on it. I said I wasn't going to put it out there, but, well, there you go. It'll be an obscure detail in just one of the videos. Maybe more, I don't know. It's a good company that I work for. The guy takes care of his people. Pretty good, man. Probably the best boss I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because someday he might see it, you know. I would talk trash on him if he deserved it. There goes another one. See you later. Trash truck is a very powerful machine, man. It's kind of cool, kind of fun, but the nature of trash is less enjoyable. It's not quite as fun. It's dirty and gross and smelly. Although in the wintertime, benefit to the cold, it doesn't stink at all. No smell. Zero smell. Still gross. Like my hands are kind of like a little bit, they're not too bad today. I don't know if you even see it. A little bit of black on them. But whatever, you know, you just wash them before you leave, and then a little bit sticks on there, and then you go home and really get it off. They have some of that Gojo soap, and if you guys have ever used that, you know how good that, what is that, pumice in there? Some sort of rock or whatever it is. Pretty sure it's dissolvable. It's not like those little plastic beads that people were getting in trouble for having in their shampoo and stuff. Those little beads help though, man. I don't know what it is. I think it's pumice, but it just works magic. You hear that? Always wear your seatbelt, people. Don't be like me and put it on while you're driving. Have it on before you put it in forward gear. Before you put it in forward gear, not 2 miles down the road like I just did. And always pay attention to the road. You gotta look that way, not at your phone. And well, you do check your mirrors. That's some stuff in CDL training, man. I'll tell you what, the stuff that I learned in CDL training, you know, I think everybody should have some of that training just for their own personal, you know. You should go out and get training on driving, because I I think people understand how dangerous it is, but then they kind of push it back and kind of forget about how dangerous it is because it becomes so routine. You're just driving all the time, day in, day out, weeks, years pass by without incident, or with just minor stuff going on, maybe a couple traffic tickets or a fender bender. But man, you start picking up speed, man, the potential for injury and death is just way high when you get up on the highway. The potential is very high. The most dangerous thing we all do regularly, except for maybe people that skydive every day. That's probably safer than driving. How often do parachutes fail? I don't know. Probably not very often, by people who know how to pack them. And you're kind of in control of your own fate with that. You better pack it well. At least that's what they say. I've never gone skydiving. I think it would be probably cool. Probably have to lose weight to do it. Working on that. I don't remember the last time I went to Cedar Point, but I know I've thought about how like being overweight stops the things that you can do, like skydiving. That might, have a limitation on you. Some 1,000-pound guy ain't gonna go skydiving, I'll tell you that. But what about 300? Is 300 too heavy? I don't know. But I know they send 2 people up for like your first jumps. You have to do it tandem. So like maybe if the instructor is like a super tiny guy and then I'm 300 pounds, I could go. But I don't know. At 250 now, I could probably go. I'm in the 240s. I actually forgot to weigh myself this morning. But I'm excited to hit 245. And man, when I get down, dude, once I get down to 225, 20 more pounds to go. 225, that's kind of like a, one of those quarter-way markers. It's a milestone. But 200, man, if I can hit 200, that's really the goal, man. 225, that'll be cause to, I don't know, have a bottle of water. What do you do when you lose weight to celebrate? You have a bottle of water, I guess. I'm definitely not going to pop a bottle of champagne or anything else that's super sugary or beer or any of that garbage. Or alcohol in general, just loaded with calories, man. I guess you get like Bud Light, but I don't know, it's like loaded with carbs or whatever. I just know alcohol isn't healthy for you, and I haven't had any in a while, a good while. None this year, so I guess that's not that long. You listen to Bill Burr's podcast; he's been well over a year dry. He keeps talking about the cigars, though. You gotta have some sort of vice, and I don't know what mine is right now. What is my vice? What's the thing I do? What is my vice? I don't know. I try not to have any, but I'm sure I could think of a couple. That I'll keep to myself. Nice and quiet. How I should really go back and watch a whole video that I've recorded. But I've said it before, how, I'm embarrassed to even look at it, dude, and then I'll be like, oh man, listen to how stupid I sound. I'm not even gonna upload it. Forget it. And this is the 5th day that I've been recording these. I can't remember. I'm just gonna know that it was the beginning of the decade. The beginning of the 20s. First month of the first year of the 3rd decade of the 2000s. First month of the first year of the 3rd decade of the 21st century. Of the, I don't know what after that. How many eras have there been? Recorded history goes back like a couple thousand years, 5,000 years, 10,000 years. I don't know. History is interesting, man. It's really good. Just the human race kind of came out of who knows where, going way back. thinking about how, like, going all the way back to the beginning, you know, people have had stories about the beginning of time, the beginning of existence, and usually it gets called religion, you know, but it's really just history, and some of it's legend, some of it's just, you know, myth and legend. Are those the same word? I don't know. But some of it is just that, some of it's real, some of it's embellished, you know, and there's no real way to know anything unless you were there. But I think the Bible is really interesting, and it's the one that I know the most about. The only theory of the beginning of existence that I really know, besides the science one that they that, you know, people talk about here, the Big Bang theory. I think it's funny how people talk about the Big Bang like it's a for sure thing. That's what happened. We know it. It's a fact. Dude, no, you don't know. You don't know. But there's probably something to it, you know, because the universe is expanding, but I don't know, man. There's something out there that transcends time and space. There's got to be something out there. What if, like, dark matter, like how our brains work and how atoms work, why wouldn't it just scale up? Atoms make up us, make up, you know, atoms make up, like, these molecules make up people, and people live on planets and stuff like that. And then the planets kind of resemble the depictions of atoms that I've seen. Planets and solar systems kind of resemble that. And then you could say that solar systems make up the galaxy, and that kind of resembles like a molecule, and then the galaxies are molecules, and then there's that dark matter stuff. What is that? Some, like, mathematically provable thing that exists out there, but nobody can see it. It only exists in the math equations or something like that. When you break us down to our smallest pieces and you get down to, like, the atom, and then that goes all the way up to me, and I'm able to think, what if the universe is alive? Kind of seems like the earth is alive. The earth breathes. The middle of the earth, it moves around. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But it's fun to contemplate. I think everybody thinks about it, right? What is existence? I don't know if God is exactly what the Bible describes. You know, the Bible there's some funny stuff in there. But I also believe that it's full of wisdom, and not everything about it is this, but the right way to live is in there. The way Jesus was. Jesus was a pretty solid character. Probably was real, but, you know, like the Immaculate Conception, I don't know, man. I think you can, like, the Bible has so much wisdom in it, but if you can't take it at the literal word, literally as it's written. I don't really think that. But, you know, maybe the Big Bang is true, and maybe let there be light is true, and let there be light was the Big Bang. Let there be light, and then all the stars and all the matter and everything that you've ever seen and everything in the universe that's too far away to see all happened at the same moment. And if the Big Bang accelerated at the speed of light, from that point and everything's moving out at the speed of light, is that a thing? Did I make that up? Or is that part of it? But we went in one direction, and then whatever else went in the other direction out of the Big Bang, the point of the Big Bang, if something else went in the other direction, it would be too far away to ever see because it's moving too fast. It's riding out of here. It's getting out of here faster than the light can travel back to us to see it. Right? Isn't that what they talk about? Like the edge of the universe isn't actually the edge. It's just as far as the light can see. Everything else is too far away. So potentially, if the Big Bang expanded at the speed of light, we would just be seeing our little narrow corner, or like maybe a couple of degrees, or I don't know, some trillionth of a single degree, like not even a second of a minute of a degree of angle, and that's the observable universe. Would just be a small portion of that pie chart from the Big Bang. The observable universe is just a small piece out of that giant circle radiating from the point of the Big Bang. But I don't know, maybe it didn't expand at the speed of light. I have no idea. Fun kind of concepts to think about. Is anybody gonna let me over? How about this? I'll find a different hole. This is dangerous. Don't speed. Don't speed. I'm not speeding. There's been stories of people speeding, but I've never actually seen it. People don't speed. For all the law enforcement who may end up seeing this video, this is not an admission of guilt. I've never seen anyone break the law in my life. There was a video of a guy. It was making me laugh so hard because he was walking up to cops and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? I got a call about somebody acting suspicious. I need to see some ID. Hey, do you mind if I pat you down? Anything that you're not supposed to have? You have any drugs on you? What do you got? Let me see some ID." And he was walking up to cops like that. Because sometimes, you know, good cops don't act like that, but sometimes you might meet a cop who acts like that. "Hey, let me see some ID. Who are you? I don't know who you are. I don't know that. Maybe you're dangerous. Do you got any warrants?" Listen, man, I don't answer questions. That's all I'm going to say to him. But, you know, if I'm being honest, most of the cops that I've run into have been pretty amicable and professional. But I can think of a time after watching some of these videos that I got taken advantage of, and oh man, I shouldn't have let it happen. I should not have let it happen. I've had actually a couple encounters with the cops that I would play differently now if they happened to me now. And the one was, I had my girlfriend, who I am now married to, and then a good buddy of mine in the back seat. I was driving, my girlfriend's right here in the passenger seat, and then I've got a buddy in the back. And we get pulled over for no reason at all, except for the reason that I think he might have made it up. Maybe he was telling the truth, but it could have easily been made up. And it was still, even if the story he gave me was true, it's not a legal reason to detain me or to pull me over for a traffic stop. And I should have never got out of the car. I should have just handed him my license and not answered any questions, and definitely never consent to searches. Even if they for sure have probable cause and you know that they have it, refuse the search. And then you know, they'll remove you from the car and they'll do it anyway. Whatever, just refuse it. Have it on record that you refused it. That you did not consent to it. Not necessarily a refusal, but that you don't consent. Say, hey, I don't consent to this search, but you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do. So what happened with my story? And so I was getting on the highway, and they pulled me over on the on-ramp. This cop got behind me and pulled me over right there on the on-ramp. So I pulled over, and he came up to the window and he said, "Hey, your car matches." You need to get that checked out, buddy. He told me that my car matches the description of a car who allegedly stole some jet skis. They trailered up some jet skis and just stole them out of somebody's yard. And I didn't have a hitch on the back of my car. We're talking about like a 2000 Hyundai Elantra that I was driving with no trailer hitch, nowhere to hitch up a trailer at all, no sign of a hitch ever being there. It's just a car, man. And I told him, I was like, well, I didn't steal any trailers. And I'm trying to think, this was like over 5 or 6 years ago, 7 years ago or something, so I'm getting my details a little bit messed up here. But he asked if he could search the car, and I let him. And so we all got out of the car, and there was actually 2 separate cop cars. Me and my girlfriend, who's now my wife, were put in one car, and then the buddy who I had in the back seat was put into a second car that they had. And then they searched through the car, and you know, they found something I can't even remember. And they said, like, you know, I can take you to jail for this or whatever. And like, but luckily your buddy owned up to being the owner of it. Otherwise, you would be responsible for this. And I can't remember. Did they write him a ticket for that? Something. It's just like a stem or a seed or something, you know, pot, whatever. And I think he did get a ticket for that. I can't remember, but I'll tell you, man, nowadays, if he pulled me over, I'll tell him, no, officer, I don't consent to any searches. And then if he asked me to step out of the car, I would have stepped out of the car, absolutely, but I would have taken my keys with me and I would have locked the door. And you know, then we wouldn't have had any problem. But honestly, he never told me the reason that he pulled me over other than the suspicion. And I guess that's reasonable suspicion. If you match a description, is that reasonable suspicion to detain someone? I don't know, but that's what he told me, and he detained me. Whether it was legal or not, I'm unsure. But I like watching some of those videos about police encounters. And I've thought about it before, like, it would be kind of fun to go do one of those First Amendment audits. Like, no, man, I'm allowed to record here. It's a constitutionally protected right. Or if a cop tells you not to record them, no sir, I'm gonna keep recording. I've been down a rabbit hole about that lately, and especially that video where that guy turned to the table on him and started asking the cops for their IDs. Like, I want to pat you down. You don't mind if I search you, do you? Can I pat you down? Let me see some ID. What are you doing here? Where are you headed to? Where are you coming from? You don't have to answer any of those questions, man. Too many people are unaware of their rights, I think. You gotta let people know. That's pretty important, you know? Because, you know, people get accused of crimes that they didn't even commit, or they get you to admit to crimes. And so, you know, sometimes when you open your mouth to cops, you're admitting guilt without even knowing it. And that's why you just keep your mouth shut when you're dealing with them. So I like talking about that. I thought, yeah, so maybe someday I'll do one of those videos where I walk into a courthouse with a camera and videotape everybody. Hey, how you doing? Oh, no, I'm nobody. I'm just camera guy. And not have a car with me. And yeah, I just really value freedom, and it bugs me when I see it, you know, being abused. When I see people's rights being abused. Because they were hard fought for. They were hard fought for, the rights that we hold here in the United States, this beautiful country. The government is just so big now. They have control over everything. Bernie Sanders is talking about taking control of the internet. And I haven't heard very much of that story, but, you know, this net neutrality, and then I just saw a headline. I didn't actually read the article, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was all true about Bernie Sanders having $150 million or $150 billion, I don't even remember. Big difference, you know, by about, you know, 1,000 times, but $150 million or $150 billion plan, it doesn't even matter. The government spends so much money. $150 billion. Can you even imagine having $1 million? How great that would be for an individual, and the government just blows it all the time. I know one real figure that I have confidence to say is $38 billion. They just increased the military budget by that much. That passed no problem. President Trump, he's a Russian asset, and you know, he can't be trusted. He's like a loose cannon, but for sure he can be responsible with an extra $38 billion. You know, well, you know, he's a loose cannon. He works for Putin, and you know, we can't trust him, but we should up the military budget that he's in control of. Yeah, dude, it's just, you can see through the lies if you just connect all the dots, man. If you're able to keep track of what you see on the news and just connect the dots and juxtapose everything to everything and look at the big picture, there's contradictions all over it. It's just contradiction everywhere. And that's just one. That's just one that I can think of off the top of my head. Gotta watch this video and see if I can figure out where I'm at by watching the video, because I don't really want to lead anybody straight back to my house. Even though by the time the first person actually views one of these videos, I'll probably live in a different place. So what does it even really matter? But I don't think, you know, you'd have to really pay attention and be able to catch a landmark. Maybe I can just turn the camera around so that it's not pointing out the window so much. And I'm sure all of you are great people, but maybe eventually someone crazy will get a hold of one of these. I don't know. You gotta trust people. I trust people. I would consider myself naive. And I think once you're aware of your naivety, you're not naive anymore, kind of by definition. But I'm naive. I believe in the goodness of people to the point that it surprises me when I see evil, you know? When somebody steals from you. And I have a recent story about being robbed, virtually robbed. I got robbed over the internet, man. And you know, when that happens, it kind of shatters everything about how I feel about people being good. Because I really do think that most people are generally good, and I believe in good. And that's what makes it easy to believe in liberty and all that, and letting people do whatever they want, leaving them alone. But there is evil in the world, and it has to be opposed by the good. And sometimes that evil has to be opposed by force. And I'm not so naive that I don't take precautions. But I still got on the internet. My wife's PlayStation 4 account got hacked into. The person who hacked it changed the password and then spent $250 on games. They got like Red Dead Redemption 2, Tekken 7. They got a bunch, like all these games. Days Gone, a handful of PS4 games, and yeah, racked up a $250 bill, man. And it took us a week to get that money back and to get full access granted back to our account. Luckily, we were able to do all that, and shout out to Sony for helping us out. in that situation. But man, you know, my wife went through all of her passwords and changed every single password. She's got like 30 accounts. I didn't even know she had that many internet accounts, but she's got accounts to this store and that store and this Google account, this Yahoo account, you know, all these different internet logins, and she has a unique password now for every single one, because it was the same one for everything. And that's the same thing I do. I've got the same password for everything, but not anymore. Not anymore. She changed all of them. I changed all of them. We deleted our debit card information off of all of our accounts. So punch it in every time, and then check the box that says save information. You check that thing off. Make sure that it's not saving your information, or delete it if it automatically saves it. You know, because man, the internet is super dangerous, man. You need to get like a VPN. I'm coming really late to the game with that. Not having a VPN is probably completely irresponsible. I really need to get on that. What is it, like $4 a month? If you use a promo code from somebody. I saw a couple of them listed on some YouTube videos that you can get a VPN for like $4 a month. Man, that could hit my account. I wouldn't even notice it. $4. There's always $4 in there, at least, you know. I could probably get on that. But I'm almost home. I'm getting pretty close. I'm gonna shut this thing down before I get too close. I wanna stay anonymous, you know, or at least with my address. I know my name is out there. That's fine. I'm Josh Bailey. And I was talking about taking precautions. I advise everyone to take precautions, not only with your internet security, but with your physical security as well. And that you know, have weapons, but weapons are a last resort. What you really want to have is deterrence. You know, lock all your doors, lock all your windows. Don't have anything to hide behind in your yard, like giant bushes or anything like that. You know, shrubbery is nice, but it can be a place to hide for anybody who, you know. I mean, home invasions are pretty rare, especially when people are home. Usually, it's just a burglar, you know. When people break and enter into your house, they just want to burgle you. They don't want to actually, you know, invade you. But it does happen. It does happen, and that, you know, kind of necessitates weaponry, but also security systems, locked doors, locked windows, and, you know, security systems great, alarms are great. Dogs are maybe the best thing. I think having a dog, you might be better off having a dog than you